Hey leaders, I wanted to take another few minutes to share with you some things that are on my heart and my mind as I see us moving forward as a ministry team. You know, Elevate Community was one of those things that I shared with you that I think would really shape what I think we need to be doing moving forward. I want to elevate the value of relational ministry, of us being a community, being the church. And one of the reasons why I think that matters is because I believe the conduit for any real life change, transformational change, has relationships at the key part of that. That anything that's happened in my own life, key moments of change, of becoming something new, and as a leader, as a father, as a husband, in there have been key interactions and conversations that I've had with key people in my life, that there was a relational ministry equity that was built over time with other people, that when they spoke things into my life, it made a difference in me and made an impact and influence in my life. And that's one of the things that I wanted to share with you, because I think every one of us need that friend, those friends or those few friends that they know things about us that not everybody else knows. That when we have those kind of friends, that they don't just know things, but they also like encourage us to live better. They know how to challenge us or give us new things to think about, that guide us in life in a really good way. And if you don't have that, I hope that you find that. I hope that maybe a part of your serving team that we could be that, that those kids and families that come here, that we can try to model that kind of personal relationship, personal care and discipleship with them. And so I want to invite you to leverage your influence to do that in this ministry. That this really becomes a place where people feel like it's safe to open up, that they feel like this is a place they belong, and it's really because of you and us as a people that make that happen. And so I want to integrate a strategy from beginning to end in how we do what we do that really elevates this idea of community. And in that, because like, if I have a different leader with a different kid every single week, relationships can't happen. If a kid is, I know often the average attendance is far fewer than I wish it had been maybe years in the past. The value of that we place on consistency and being present in the life of a kid, in my mind, elevates even more. And so with that all said, I want to kind of share 6 things that I think make a difference in the life of a kid. It comes from another book that highlights what every kid needs. And they're this: time over time makes history worth repeating. You know, when you do something a time and time again, it like then builds up this history you look back on, and it's like, oh, I remember this. And a kid's experience here with church is that time and time again, week after week every week, that we build on a consistent environment, experience, and the relationships that they have with us makes something that they're like, I want to keep on doing that, or maybe not. And I hope that it's something that they do want to repeat. The other is this: love over time helps them establish a healthy sense of worth. So many kids now struggle with the idea of self-worth, of knowing that they are valued. And I believe that it really is the love, relationships, and the way that we care for one another that really does help establish that healthy sense in a child. But it does happen over time. It's not just love in one little instance, it's love week after week, month after month, of building into a relationship that helps them establish that sense of worth. And then the other is words over time influence to keep moving us in a better direction. Your words and how we teach and what the truth that we translate and the way in which we communicate different things has the ability to influence the direction of a child. And so we want to influence them with our words in a better direction. And so don't think too little of any little interaction that you have with a kid, or whether you have with a parent when they come in and you're greeting them. Some of those little things, the words that you use to greet them or to teach them or to love them, really has a great impact, a huge impact to guide them. And especially if that's repeated, the things that are done week after week, time after time, has a huge impact. All right, the next is stories over time connect them to a bigger world and shape their perspective. I don't know about you, but great stories really help me ground my idea of what's going on. When I understood the Bible as one big story that God is writing and that I'm a part of that, that made the whole faith journey alive in a new way for me. When I watch movies or read other stories, like somewhere in there, sometimes I find myself like, oh, I'm kind of like this person in that journey, and it gives me perspective on life. And so teaching stories, Bible stories and other real stories like that sharing my own story with somebody else helps them reframe their story about what God is doing there. Like those personal interactions and making it authentic really helps shape each other and gives us a better perspective on what's going on. All right, then there's tribes over time. Establish a circle of relationships where they can experience belonging. I believe one of the three core things that each of us crave for is one of them is belonging. And the idea of a tribe, a small group, a growth group of a consistent kids, as consistent people, even as adults need, and that when you meet time over time, like that same group, that same tribe, it can really help create that sense of belonging that we all need. And then finally, fun over time fuels quality friendships and personal resilience. The fun interactions that we have at the beginning with games and sensory bins, the laughter that we have on the plaza as we greet people, just having that sense of fun really does add into the sense of like building in the friendship and something in which we then can use to weather the storms of life that when things get difficult. And so all of those six, there's a lot more maybe through the parenting lens or a leader lens that we can look into a kid and what they need. But I believe that like the backbone of all that is consistency over time, and it's done through relationship. It's done through community. And all that to say is what one thing I want to ask you to consider, to pray about and think about, is I want to ask if you would consider serving every week. For some of you, you already are doing this. Others, maybe that might be a big ask, but I want to say it in light of like, I think it matters that when we serve more and we serve consistently at the same service with the same group of kids, or we're consistently at the plaza greeting the same type of families that are there, or in Avenue A, that consistency can help build into everything else I just shared. And maybe you can't do that, I get that. I hope that you still value and understand the big picture of what I believe that we're trying to do, that I think will make a big difference for life change in kids' lives. And in that, maybe consider partnering with somebody to do that for a group of kids that is at a rug or a table, that maybe the two of you, one is serving maybe the first and third Sundays, the other is the second and fourth, or that you basically own together one group of kids to help them create that sense of belonging in that tribe, that sense of like, I care for you and my words and my love that I pour out to you week after week, I'm there for you and I know you, that you basically own that. And that when any one of you can't make it, you're contacting each other to help them fill in the gaps. And then maybe that you can't do any of that, but that you could be a part of a sub list that still knows and values the idea of personal relationships and consistency. And your season of life is all good, and it's fine that you can't do that at now, but that you know that, and you can help champion maybe with a little different sense of fervor and intentionality, that when you are there, that you do a little extra effort to get to know names and stories and contexts. And so I want to put that in front of you all, no matter where you serve, whether it's in check-in or greeting, whether it's in nursery, preschool, elementary students. But I believe that the sense of elevating community, relational ministry, the consistency of which we then serve, choosing a service and a group has a huge impact. And so I want to, it also does help us navigate some of the changes that then end up happening between week to week. And so I want to share a few more details about this coming in this next month. But by April, I'm hoping that maybe you would consider stepping into a new serving rotation, whether it be once a month, partnering with somebody else, maybe every other week, to own one group, having consistent leaders, or then being a part of a sub list that we can call on to make this happen well. But thank you guys so much for what you already are doing and what we're going to be doing in this next season to make South Hills kids and students and family ministry everything that I think the families in this community need. I love you guys. If you need anything, please reach out. Let me know. I'm here for you. Have a great day. I'll see you guys soon.